Welcome to the Man Cave Media Network and the Down East Prep Report, brought to you by Marine Federal Credit Union. I'm your host, Steve Goodson, and along with co-host Chris Miller, we're joined this week by a pair of Jacksonville High School standouts, senior Anderson Tant and senior quarterback Anthony Washington, and of course, head coach Bo Williams. Guys, welcome. And Bo, welcome back. I was joking with you before, man. This is going to be like the Bo Williams show. So,
How about that?
Yeah, we'll make it happen.
But I have
So,
noticed that we've got a lot more sponsors ever since.
yeah, man. Since we've added Bo to the mix, we seem to keep getting sponsors left and right. So that's impressive. And in addition, in a little while, we'll be welcoming Northside assistant high school coach Jacob Coman to the show shortly, and we'll be talking with Coach Coman about the Monarchs football, and their upcoming regional final against Wilson Hunt. So we're gonna get going, right? All right. Well, folks,
There's not much to talk about.
Not much to talk about. So, folks, 5th round East Regional Finals of the North Carolina High School Athletic Association's football playoffs are this week. And the spotlight is shining squarely on our community, where two powerhouse programs, the Jacksonville Cardinals and Northside Monarchs, schools that are only separated by 3 miles, are just each one win away from state championship stage. Jacksonville is the number 1 seed in the 6A bracket, undefeated and motivated by unfinished business. And I got that from your article. That wasn't me. You wrote something about unfinished business. And they host the dangerous number 3 seed Middle Creek Mustangs. And over in the 5A East bracket, number 3 seed Northside hits the road to face top-seeded Wilson Hunt, looking to return to the state finals for the first time since 2016. So 2 teams, 2 chances to make history, and an entire community ready for this historic week. So it's local football, and it's all right here on the Down East Prep Report. And again, we want to thank our show sponsor, Marine Federal Credit Union. At Marine Federal, you're more than just a member. You're part of a community. With personalized service, competitive rates, and a commitment to your goals, Marine Federal is here to help you thrive every step of the way. Visit marinefederal.org to learn more and discover how Marine Federal Credit Union can help you build a better financial future. And I talked to Jeff Clark today, the CEO of Marine Federal, and he loves the show. He wanted me to tell you guys personally, good luck Friday night.
Thanks, sir.
And good luck to Northside. And he said that his crowd at Marine Federal is rooting for you guys. So before we go any further, I do want to give our viewers an update. If you haven't heard by now, the Northside Wilson Hunt game has been moved to tomorrow night. We're recording this on Wednesday. Actually, we're not recording, we're live. So this is live on Wednesday, December 3rd. Is that the 3rd today? And the Northside Wilson Hunt game will be tomorrow night on Thursday, December 4th at 7 p.m. in Wilson. So some rain issues have come up potentially on Friday, and that could make for some adverse travel. So Wilson Hunt has moved the game up until Thursday. Jacksonville game is still scheduled for Friday, despite potentially.
We tried to move it up, but they didn't want to.
Yeah. So anyway, so just wanted to give everyone that update. So all that does for us now, man, that lets folks go on Thursday to Wilson and then come to Jacksonville on Friday. How about that? And we watch 2 wins. So we're going to change things up a little bit so we can get Anderson and Anthony back to school where they need to be. And so we're going to talk to them first, and Bo, Coach Bo first, about, and then we're going to preview the 4th round matchups. We're going to review the 4th round matchups, and then we're going to talk to Coach Coman, and then we're going to preview the 2 East Regional Final games this week and get Mr. Miller's predictions. So let's jump right into the show. So you guys ready?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. So today we're joined by 2 key leaders of the unbeaten Jacksonville Cardinals. Quarterback Anthony Washington, in his first year as a starting signal caller, has accounted for over 1,600 total yards and 26 touchdowns. That's pretty good, man.
Thank you.
Becoming one of the most dynamic playmakers in the East. And at the heart of the offensive line is center Anderson Tant, a second-year starter and a second-team All-Area selection last year, who's been the steady voice and anchor of a unit that's getting better and better every week. And we hope you continue to get better and better one more week after this week.
Yes, sir.
So we're going to jump right in. And first question is going to be for both of you, and you can defer whoever wants to go first. So before we hop in, just tell me a little bit about Anthony Washington, your family, when you started playing football, what you like to do when you're not playing football, just something just to get to know you, man.
Well, my mom's from Chicago. My dad's from Alabama. And
Closer to the mic.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. That's all right, man. You're good.
And I'm from North Carolina. And I started playing football when I was about like 6
Okay.
for Pop Warner.
Always play quarterback?
Yes, sir.
All right. So what do you do when you're not playing football?
Playing
Anything? Playing
out with friends or play on the game or something.
Any other sports?
Basketball and track.
Okay. Brothers and sisters?
I have a brother that goes to Elizabeth City and a younger brother that goes to Northwoods, along with my little sister that goes to Northwoods.
All right. Anderson?
I started playing football as a freshman. Coach Bo's been my only football coach. I've had him for 4 years, and him and Coach Blick have really grown my love for the game. There's been a couple times that I'm like, why am I doing this? But I always come back. When I'm not playing football, I love to fish. Offshore fishing is my passion.
Nice, man.
I fish a big rock every year. I love doing that.
Oh, nice.
So
that's awesome. Brothers, sisters?
I've got a lot of half siblings and a lot of step siblings, but I'm my only child at heart.
All right, cool. Good deal. So one more question, or let's see, a couple more questions for both of you. So when you look back at from the start of the season, what has been the biggest area of growth for this team? And I'll let you guys figure out who wants to go first.
I feel like just getting the chemistry back together. I mean, if you read the articles before the season started, everybody, losing Juju, losing Cam, losing some of those big names, they thought that we weren't going to have anybody to step up. But I feel like we've done a great job as a team and as individuals taking those spots and running with them. I mean, AP is an excellent back. I love having him back there. AJ is a wonderful quarterback, and they make my life way easier. But I just feel like having that chemistry together as a team has really helped us grow and develop throughout the season.
That next man up mentality, right,
Yes,
Coach?
sir.
Yes, sir.
Anthony, what you got, man?
I feel like it was just like learning the offense from the years we got pulled up with the coaches helping us learn, just being there, watching the older guys play.
Nice. So every team develops a personality over the course of the season. What would you say is this group's identity? And again, I'll let you guys defer to that. What's the identity of this group? And if y'all need some help, Bo, you can help them, man.
They got it.
Man, you are throwing some fastballs at these guys.
Yeah,
aren't you?
man.
I would say, we as a team we're really coherent. We have a lot of guys that hang out. We have a lot of separate groups, but in the end, we all kind of come together as a team. There's the different groups that hang out outside of the team, but when we need to be together, we know how to be together, and we all find something to relate to one another, and we just have a good connection with one another. I feel like.
Awesome.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
You agree with that?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna make you going first.
Okay.
You're going first this time. When and this is an easy one, man. When did you realize this team had something special, and you guys might make a run like last year's team?
I think it was against New Bern. We just clicked on all cylinders that game. And it was that from that point on, we just needed to work harder.
Okay.
Because we knew it could be something great.
Tant, you agree with that?
I would agree with that. New Bern's always a big game for us because they always like to say a lot about Coach Bo. So we always got to go out there and prove something today. We always got to
like that, man.
to them. And so I feel like coming out of that game, we really connected both offensively and defensively, and it really put together the rest of the season for us.
I think we're going to get a lot of in-step comments because they are quarterback and center, and so they have a special relationship. If that's your wife now, and you need to take that.
Are you in a sec?
That's all right.
That was Middle Creek calling.
Middle Creek calling wanting to move it, man.
I wish.
So I'm gonna ask Anthony some questions, and then Andrew, I'm gonna come to you. I'm sorry, Anderson. I'm gonna come to you. I keep saying Andrew,
all right.
and I apologize. Anthony, first year starting QB, over 1,000 yards passing, 13 TDs, close to 650 yards rushing, 13 TDs. What part of your game has grown the most since the start of the season?
I'd say it's a passing game.
Okay.
Because I'm be honest, I wasn't that good at it. Just missing my read keys and stuff.
Okay.
And so I feel like we just developed it during practice and during the 5 weeks and stuff.
Okay.
Got better.
Great. Middle Creek has 123 tackles for loss, one of the highest totals in the state. As a quarterback, how do you mentally prepare for a game where pressure is going to come fast and it's going to come often? I'm sure my man here has prepared you, but just talk about that process of preparing for going to be under attack, man, right?
Yes, sir.
So how have you preparing for that?
It's really what we do all year. Just go through your process. 1, 2, get out your hand quick so they don't have enough time to come get you.
Okay. Trust your offensive line?
Yes, that's the biggest part.
Yeah, trust your offense. You got something you want to contribute to that, Coach?
They're a great team. I mean, we got to get better, and like the competition gets better throughout the weeks going into playoffs, and the guys know what's at stake, and they're kind of ready. I mean, Middle Creek's a good team, and we got to be prepared.
All right. You take it, Coach. So, Anthony, your receiving corps, especially Saron Thompson, has stepped up all year. With the offense being a little banged up, y'all have had a few injuries in the last couple of weeks. How important is timing and trust with your receiving corps heading into this regional finals? And I would just say your backs out of the backfield too.
I mean, that's a big part of the game. You got to trust all your players.
Yeah.
Trust them to be there. Trust them, like the O-line to block for you and stuff. Because if you don't trust your players, you're not really a team, no chemistry there,
Yeah. I mean, you're right, man. This program has talked all year about unfinished business. As the quarterback of an undefeated number 1 seed, how do you lead your guys with urgency without letting the moment get too big? How do you keep in the moment?
Like Coach Bird preaches to us all year, every game. You got to stay level-headed. Don't get too caught up in the moment. Coming back to here, you got to stay humble.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's great advice, man. That's great advice. I'm going to move on to Anderson. Do you have any questions that you want to ask Anthony, or do you want me to keep going? And
No, I just was going to ask you. I mean, the last couple of years, Jacksonville has had some good quarterbacks. Amari last year, and how much pressure did you have going into this season, knowing that it was your turn?
I wouldn't say it wasn't that much pressure because I've been pulled up since sophomore year. I got to learn from those guys, learn tips and tricks from them.
Mm-hmm.
So it just made it a whole lot easier learning from them guys, getting pulled up.
Good deal.
Good deal. And we've got Jay Reeves is watching, and he's saying that we're live. And then I've got Joey Michalczyk, actually. Joey's having some knee issues. Coach Michalczyk has been at the doctor today. I don't know what results are of that, or been somewhere he's having some knee issues.
If he would quit kicking all his players.
Yeah, exactly. But Joey says go Cards. So Joey, we hope you're healing and you can get back to kicking everybody around like you need to. Anderson.
Yes, sir.
Jacksonville is dealing with some injuries on the offense. We talked about that. And that puts a little more weight on the O-line. You may have some guys in there that are great players, but maybe not have as much experience. You've had other players in front of them. So that puts a little more pressure on you guys. And, if you cannot tell, I didn't play receiver in high school, okay? I played offensive line. How have you and your unit embraced the responsibility throughout this playoff run, knowing that, what's going to happen offensively, it starts with you guys? How have you guys embraced that, man?
Yes, sir. As we told Chris when he interviewed us a few days ago, Coach Trent always tells us before every game, the game starts with us and ends with us right there. And right there in the trenches. And you know, it can be a lot of pressure sometimes, but like AJ said, we all have a process, and we get down, we get on the ball. Everybody goes through their process, and that's all you can do. I mean, if you go through your process and remember what you were coached, you're gonna make the block. I mean, our coaches don't ask us to do anything that they don't know we're capable of, and a lot of it is just being able to believe in yourself that you can do it, and believe in your brothers around you. And being offensive line, you have to put a lot of trust in the people behind you, because once I snap that ball, I have no idea what happens to it until I see somebody in the end zone.
And you actually hope that you see people ahead of you
yes, sir.
as opposed to behind you, right? Yeah. And Coach Trent, you mentioned Coach Trent. Is he down on the sidelines during the games, or is he in the booth?
Yes, sir. So Trent is down on the sidelines, and then Coach Trey is up in
the booth. Trey. Okay, yeah. I've been up to several games, and I've been up in the booth, and Trey gets really excited up in the booth.
Yes,
he
sir.
gets
yes,
really excited. He's easy to excite.
And we all know who the GOAT of the Jones family is Tyler Jones.
Yeah, Tyler. We actually talked. I actually talked to Tyler last week or 2 weeks ago, or last week. We're starting a new show in January called Homegrown, and I got an idea you guys may at one point be featured on that show. We're talking to local high school kids who have gone off to college and are playing athletics in college. And we're just catching up with them. So they've gone off, they're doing their thing, and they're representing Onslow County and Jacksonville and the community. And I talked to Tyler last week about being at Western Carolina playing golf, and that show's going to actually come on the air in January. So you heard the first part of this question when I talked to Anthony. 123 tackles for losses.
Yes, sir.
One of the highest totals in state. What's the key for the offensive line to neutralize that penetration, keep the run game alive, and protect my man right here? What's the key to it, man?
I mean, like AJ said, they're definitely a great team, a great coach team, but it all goes back to what I said earlier. It goes back to doing your process every snap, going through your steps, and just keeping everything simple. Don't let the heat of the game and the heat of the moment overexcite you. As Coach Bird always says, you always got to stay level-headed, stay through your process. I mean, go through everything you need to go through before you snap the ball, and everything will work out how it needs to work out.
And you got to remember, this is why you have two-a-days during August. This is why you practice when it's 100 degrees outside. Maybe not as much, because they kind of shelter down on that a little bit. But that's why you practice when it's raining, and you go through this process. Friday night should be when we used to play, and I know that seems like a long time ago when I used to play, but Friday night, man, was the cherry on top of the cake.
Yep.
It's the fun part, right? And I mean, you obviously are taking it serious and you're focused, but Friday night is the fun part. You put in all the work during the week to see results on Friday. So when you break the huddle and you come out and you see Middle Creek's defense and they're stacking the box, or you might see that might be some potential pressure that might be coming from the outside. Walk me through, man. What's the first thing that you're looking for as you come up there? I'm assuming that this is an assumption. Are you you're the quarterback of the line? Are you making the calls about the blocking and stuff like that?
Yes, sir. Well, the first thing I do when I get out there is make sure my laces are the right way on the ball. That's very important to me, and the refs don't always listen to me. So that's always the first thing I do is get my laces right, and then I'll make sure everybody's lined up and splits are proper, and then we'll look and I'll listen to what AJ says, and then if AJ says something that I don't like, I'll correct him, and we'll do a quick discussion real quick, and then we'll get down. Everybody goes through their process once I've made the call and once AJ's made the call, and then we snap it and go.
So that's great. I mean, that leads into my next question. So as a center, again, quarterback of the offense, what's communication been like this week between maybe you and Anthony, you and the offensive line, and what protection adjustments are you anticipating you guys might have to be making? I'm not trying to get into game plan and strategy or anything like that, and if we can't talk about it, that's cool. But what do you anticipate you're going to see from Middle Creek?
Like I said, as you said, they have a lot of tackles for loss, a lot of sacks. They're definitely a great team up front on the line and a linebacker core. But again, I hate to keep harping on the same thing, but it all goes back to everybody's process. I mean, AJ has a process that he has to assess. I have a process. My guards have a process. My tackles have a process. And if everybody goes through their process and gets down, we have those adjustments built in to handle anything as long as we're going through our
So
process.
you know if you make a call that you're relying on your guards, your tackles, or whomever, that they when you make that call, they know
Yes, sir.
what adjustment to
Yep.
make.
They know they've gone through their process just as I have, and they understand. They look at it too. So not only am I making the call, they're making the call in their head, and they're echoing what I say, and they're going through their process. I mean,
That's awesome.
Coach Bird harps on it: process, process, process. It starts with the little things in your process, and that's how you win games.
And Coach Blick is your line is your position coach,
Yes,
right?
sir. That's my
Yeah.
line coach.
He was the head coach at White Oak High School when my nephew, he played linebacker, but he was the head coach at White Oak when my nephew was at White Oak. So
And he was one of my coaches.
one of your coaches as well, wasn't he? So I've got two more questions for both of them, and then I've got some rapid fire. So do you have anything?
Oh no,
else?
I have something for rapid fire.
Okay. So you guys literally, according to what I've read, have 43-7 written in the locker room. How often do you guys look at that and use it as motivation heading into this is your final home game as seniors? So I don't know if you thought about that or not, because next week when you're playing in the state championship, it's not going to be at home. It's going to be somewhere else. But how have you taken that, what's written on the locker in the locker room, and use that for motivation? So I'll let whomever address that first.
I look at it every day. I go into the locker room before I get there before everybody else does, and I look at it, and I'm always the last one to leave the locker room, and I look at it then, and I think about Cam's face because that was the last game I played with him before he went to college, and I always think about that and the way he looked after that game, and just the feeling I felt on that bus ride back, and I never want to feel it again.
Yeah.
I look at it every day too. I seen how bad it hurt. It don't want to go out like that this year. Want to change it.
Yeah. I can't remember if I said it last week because I'm old and I don't remember things, but we were talking to the guys from Croatan last week. They were here. And I told them, you mentioned Cam. My team, my senior year, we lost in the East Regional Finals to Fuquay Arena. And you're right, man. It's a bad feeling.
Yes, sir.
It's a feeling you don't want to have.
Mm-mm.
I told everybody, I said, you can call me whatever you want to call me, but got back to the locker room and cried like a baby. So I'm glad that you guys, not that you guys don't need it, but I'm glad that you got something that reminds you and motivated and I say you don't need it because your coaching staff has got you guys prepared.
Oh, yes, sir.
To execute. So, but that's great. I mean, that's great that you remember what last year was like. So last question for you guys, and then we'll get into some rapid fire, which is going to be quick answers. What would advancing to the state championship mean for this team, your school, and the community?
I mean, it would mean a lot, all the hard work and hours we put in. Don't want to let it go to waste. Want to feel the good feeling of going to states,
Yeah.
It would be something big for the community. It's been a minute since it happened.
And you play basketball, right?
Yes, sir.
So you want to hold off on basketball practice just one more week, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right.
I mean, I would agree with AJ, and I just all the work and hard work we've put in for 4 years, and all my brothers and my coaches. I mean, they all just deserve it. Coach Bo deserves it. Coach Blake deserves it. All of them, all the effort they put in, not just on the practice field, but the effort they put into our weight room and painting the field and all the little things that go unnoticed by most people. I really notice that and appreciate the stuff they do for us, and they all deserve it.
All right, that's awesome. All right. Do you want to incorporate your rapid fire? Or you want to ask it first? You
Well, I
want
want to ask AJ, why does let the offensive lineman clean the locker rooms?
Coach Blick says it's their turn. Their day.
All right, so I'm going to ask rapid fire, and I'll start. I'll point like this because I'm not going to switch the camera back and forth. I'll ask, but it's both of you guys. I'll ask you one and then the other, and we'll alternate. So he's not always going first, or you're not always going first. All right, so here we go. Funniest guy in the locker room.
Juice, Saron Thompson.
Yeah.
Kobe Moretti.
All right. Funniest coach on the coaching staff.
Coach Shapiro.
Yeah, Coach Shapiro.
He is funny, dude. He helped me with this lighting setup and stuff like that. Yeah, he's a good guy, man. Best nickname on the team. And I heard y'all talking about something before this.
Oh, I know this one.
Oh, I'm going to say chicken.
Yeah.
Chicken?
Yeah.
I would agree with chicken.
Who and who is
Michael Blackwell.
okay. Which lineman eats the most at team meals?
That would be Isaiah Hernandez. He eats his tray of food, and then he eats my tray of food.
He does the same with me as Isaiah Hernandez.
Favorite pregame hype song? What you listening to on your AirPods?
Something by Lil Baby Rod Wave.
All right.
I don't listen to any music.
You don't listen to you focus, man.
Yes, sir.
That's good. Go to post game meal.
Cookout.
Cook out a tray,
Yes, sir.
double cheeseburger, double tray.
No, I get a double quesadilla tray with a
Okay.
quesadilla and fries and sweet tea.
Nice.
Bojangles.
Bojangles, strips
Yes.
with fries.
Yeah.
A little extra Cajun season on the fries.
I keep a bottle of
With
Bojangles
barbecue
seasoning
sauce.
in my
With-
truck.
Not,
Do I now?
I keep a bottle of Bojangles seasoning in my truck.
And you get it with barbecue sauce, not honey mustard.
I don't like honey mustard.
Man, if I'd known that, I had honey mustard and ranch up there for y'all before. Okay. All right. Who talks the most trash during the game?
Saron Thompson.
Yeah.
Quentin Xavier Burns.
Both of them.
Yeah.
Okay. Hardest hitter on the team.
Jackson Henry.
I was going to say Blake Moses.
Blake Moses. We've had Blake on the show, and I think he would agree with you that he probably hits the hardest. Okay, this is a good one. This could be off. Well, this is offensive. I'm gonna ask you, and then this teammate who pancakes somebody first Friday night.
Who is it going to be?
Yeah,
I got money on Tanner.
got your money on him.
Not Tanner.
Oh, Tanner. I'm sorry,
I'm going to say probably Kobe.
Kobe. Okay. Who would win a team-wide 40-yard dash? All the players on the team, who would win a 40-yard dash?
Yandes.
Amari Ben.
Amari Ben, okay. One teammate you would want with you in a 4th and goal situation.
Amari Pearson.
Amari Pearson.
AP.
All right. Most improved teammate since August.
Me. I would say probably either Chicken or AP. Either one of those backs.
And tell me who Chicken is again.
Mike Blackwell.
And what position does he play?
He running back. They're both
Okay,
running backs.
okay.
I would say Amari Ben.
One word that describes this week's preparation and practice. You got one?
Yeah.
What?
Process.
Process.
Little things.
Little things. That's fine. That's more than one word, but that's all right.
Oh, my bad.
That's all right. That's all right, dude. That's all right, Anthony. That's all right. Fill in the blank or complete this sentence. Playoff football is different because why?
Because next week's not guaranteed. I want to know at the end of every week.
It's the best teams in playoffs.
That's right. Last rapid fire. Complete this sentence, and I do this with every player I interview, no matter what school. Jacksonville High School football is, and don't say America. Jacksonville High School football is whoever. Y'all, whoever.
The best team.
Family.
Family. That's awesome. Gentlemen, we appreciate it. Great conversation. Thank you guys for taking the time to come to the studio today. Good luck Friday night. We'll be there. Chris, you have any other additional things that you want to say?
No, I
Any comments?
agree with Sherron Thompson being talking the most junk, and but one thing I did notice before games is you all mentioned Jackson and Blake, those two guys. And I know other guys do it too. They do their own like prayer and and everything, so that always stands out to me. And
Yes, sir.
and so good for those guys to I noticed that quite a few times this season. So this is more than just a football team. This is a family and close knit group, and we'll see how you guys do on Friday night.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Well, I mean, and just to piggyback, and then I'll let you go. When you spend as much time as you do with each other, I mean, you spend more time with this guy than you do at home, man. During
I definitely
during
do.
football season, I mean, it's like a family and it's like a brotherhood, and that's just part of the beast, man. So, guys, congratulations on where you've been so far. Good luck Friday night, and I'm hoping. I know he probably ain't going happy about it, but I'm hoping Bo's back here next week with some other players on Wednesday, and we're talking about, all right, Bo, you playing Thursday, Friday, or Saturday because we don't know yet.
I don't think it'd be Thursday. It'd be either Friday or Saturday.
Okay, so it'd be Friday or Saturday. They haven't announced that yet.
Well, because I think they agreed that the team, just like 1A and 8A are not playing this week because those regional games were last week.
Okay.
They have one less round, so I think it was agreed that those games will be on those will be Thursdays.
Okay. And Joey Michalczyk is just he must be laid up in the hospital or something because he's watching, and he just says, "Great interview. Let's go Cards," from the kickball coach. So anyway, guys, thank you so much. We appreciate it a bunch. We're gonna let y'all get back to class. If y'all want to grab you something, I know you guys ain't getting up there. There's a lot of chicken tenders up there. They're not from Bojangles, they're from Smithfield's. But y'all grab y'all a plate to go, man.
Yes, sir.
And get something. And thank you guys so much. And we're going to switch out. We're going to have Coach Coman come in and get him situated, and we're going to do a couple things with that. But guys, thank you so much. We appreciate it a bunch.
Thank you.
Viewers, hang tight for just a minute while we switch things out. We're at halftime, and we will get Coach Coman to come in and have a seat. And guys, make you to-go plate. And when Coach is ready, he can come on. You can take that cup, man, if you want to. You take it with you, buddy. All right. Hey, Bo, thank you, man. We appreciate it a bunch. I'll see you next week, Bo. Yeah, you just put it over there, man. We're good to go. And Coach, sit down. You can either sit on either side, wherever you want to sit, man. Either or, wherever you want to sit, man. All right. Pull that mic good and close to you, and we'll do you. Yeah. And well, you probably are going to have to move the whole stand towards you. Yeah. And now just do me a test real quick.
Test.
Perfect. So, Coach, before we get into your stuff, we're going to do a little recap, and then we'll interview, and then we'll go from there. So all right. So let's get going. So, all right. To kick off the recap of last week's actions, we're going to start with the Down East Player of the Week, which is brought to you by Jason Humphrey and Down East Heaton. And Coach, you're going to like this, man, because you are the wide receivers coach, right, for Northside High School.
Yes, sir.
So this week's Player of the Week is Jermaine.
That is Jamian Johnson.
Jamian Johnson.
Smokey.
Junior wide receiver from Northside High School. Northside 21, Rocky Mount 6. Johnson had a great night with 5 catches for 157 yards. And because you never tell me, I figured it up myself. That's 31.4 yards per catch. And he had 1 TD, including a 77-yard catch. That was for the TD that extended the Monarchs' lead to 14-6 with just over 5 minutes left in the second quarter. And Coach, that had to be a momentum shifter right there, or just add to the momentum when he caught that ball. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely, I would. At that moment, at that time in the game, I think when he did that, it was 7-6. Rocky Mount had just gone down and scored. Probably the drive right before that, they had gone down and scored. We flipped the quarter, got the ball back. Really needed a touchdown in that moment. And, you know, we had it dialed up right there. That DB bit on him, and we were able to just get him over the top. That was a huge play for us at that moment. We were able to get that lead back, and then the defense kind of was able to do their thing there from there on out.
That is awesome. Well, again, Johnson, Player of the Week, and then again, this is brought to you. The Player of the Week is brought to you by Down East Heating and Air Conditioning. Down East Heating and Air, a family tradition of quality since 1986, with locations in Jacksonville, Wilmington, and North Myrtle Beach. Down East is the #1 Bryant dealer of the Carolinas. Home, office, garage, man cave, and yes, even a basement. Down East has the perfect system to help you stay comfortable during the football season. Head over to downeastheating.com and let Down East put their talents to work for you. So we're going to switch real quick, and you're going to see on the screen here, this is the results from last week. Of course, 6A, Jacksonville 34, Union Pine 7. Jacksonville's defense set the tone early and dominated from start to finish, allowing just 140 total yards and forced 4 turnovers to propel the top-seeded Cardinals back to the East Regional Final. After a defensive fumble recovery at the 3-yard line, Amari Pearson immediately broke loose for a 97-yard touchdown, sparking a momentum surge the Vikings never could recover from. Quarterback Anthony Washington accounted for 3 total touchdowns, and Jacksonville led 34-0 before Union Pines could score. Northside 21, Rocky Mount 6. Northside continued its postseason surge with a gritty defensive performance, advancing to its first regional final since 2016. The Monarchs held Rocky Mount to a single score and delivered key plays in every quarter. Reginald Gray scored twice, including the go-ahead TD sneak, and added a 80-yard touchdown pass, 77-yard touchdown pass, as we just talked about. And then Johnson also posted so he called a pass for, he had that 157 yards, and then he also had a run for 70 yards. Is that correct? Okay. Man, he was doing it, wasn't he, man?
He was. I mean, at that time, we always say somebody else got to step up, and he stepped up big time for us.
Yeah, and we'll get to it because I want to ask you, and it's great that you are the wide receiver coach, because I want to ask you, you got some dynamic playmakers out there. So let's see. Defensively, Northside forced multiple turnovers, including late interceptions from Pepetto, is that how you say it?
It's Petito.
Petito and Smoot, sealing an 11th win and a date with top-seeded Hunt. And then the last 4th-round matchup, unfortunately, in the 5A division, Wilson Hunt, your opponent, 32, Croatan 29. Man, I would have loved to have seen a rematch between Northside and Croatan. Croatan stormed out to a 14-0 lead and controlled most of the night, but Hunt rallied late with a dramatic final minute touchdown to edge the Cougars in the regional semifinal classic. Andrew Boucher delivered a monster performance, 241 rushing yards on 38 carries, plus 84 yards receiving, and a 94-yard kickoff return. Kenny McBride hit 3 field goals, but a potential game-tying 31-yard attempt in the closing seconds missed just right. Wilson Hunt's offense came alive behind Mez Harris, who threw for 2 long TDs and added a crucial 2-point conversion to seal the comeback. So any thoughts that you want to talk about from any of those 3 games?
The Jacksonville game on Friday, a muff punt gives Union Pines the ball inside around the 10-yard line, and then Jacksonville forces a fumble, like you recapped, at the 3-yard line. One play later, AP 97 yards, and that kind of was the sequence of the game, because Jacksonville's defense dominated the rest of the way. Really wasn't able to Union Pines really wasn't able to get much offensive success going. Only had 2 first downs in the first half. One of them, I think, was a penalty. So Jacksonville will need another strong defensive effort this Friday night if they're going to go to the state final. Northside, they just continue to make the plays that they need to make, and whether it's a defensive stop or a big offensive play or just running the ball or controlling clock, sometimes they find different ways to win. So that's the mark of a good team. And then Croatan, look, they had their chances. Great season for the Cougars, but they were up 14-0 early.
Yeah.
They're thinking that they're okay, and then Hunt chipped away, and then scored in the 4th quarter to take the lead. So a great season for the Cougars nonetheless. you're right, Steve. It would have been nice. It would have been cool.
That would have been, yeah.
And then I don't think none of us would have been complaining if Northside Croton would move their game to Thursday,
Yeah.
and Jacksonville would have still be playing on Friday.
And if Croatan would have won,
It would have been at Northside.
you guys would have, yeah, you guys would have hosted. So not as far to travel, obviously. Well, Croatan, great season. Northside, great season, still going, and Jacksonville, great season. Still continuing. So let's move in, Coach. So we're going to get at it. So learned a little bit about Coach. I'm ad-libbing, going off the notes. His second year here now with Northside, he is the wide receiver position coach on varsity, head coach of the JV team.
Yep.
So did you move some guys? Have some guys moved up for the playoffs that were playing JV, or did they move up before the playoffs? Or
Well, we had a couple that were already up and some 8-quarter guys. Some dudes who you're actually seeing now in the playoffs kind of have a big contribution here late in the year, especially on the special team side, but especially on the offensive and defensive side of the ball as well. You got a few really good players there, like Zion Jones.
Mm-hmm.
He was our number one.
Okay, so I was going to ask you, was he playing JV before the playoffs? And when was Anderson?
When Rely.
When Rely got hurt, then the Jones kid stepped in, correct?
Yes, he did. So Zion Jones, he was among several guys we brought up right away. Like at the beginning of the year, he was an 8-quarter guy, so he was kind of playing a little bit of JV and varsity. He was kind of our number 2 back behind Rely most of the year. So it was guys like Zion Jones, Titus Morris, Josiah Williams, a couple young guys who were a huge part of our JV team this year. You know, we went 7-3, got to share the conference championship with Swansboro and Havelock. You know, that was a big thing for us, kind of getting that started up from the bottom, working its way up. So some of those guys are on that team. Even names you probably haven't heard yet, but you will hear, like Tamir Sessoms and Eric Stewart, Ethan Hassel, a few other guys, Kai Alba, just to name a few. Just some guys who had a big role down there have come up now at a time when we've really needed it the most. And in a case like Zion, you know, he became the guy at running back here in the playoffs. You know, he had a really good first round against Person County and against St. Paul's. That was 2 games that kind of put him out there that he's the next guy. Like, you know, Northside's had a long history of really good running backs. I know if I had Coach Pollock here today, he'd bring every single one of them up by name.
Yeah.
I tell the coaches all the time, I think Zion's the next one.
That is awesome, man. So just like I did with the players from Jacksonville, want to talk a little bit, and I've given a little bit of insight. Tell me a little bit about Coach Coman. Where are you from, man? How long you been coaching football? What you like to do when you're not coaching football? You said you were engaged, so I know I think you said you were engaged. So I know you got a honeydew list of things. But tell me a little bit about Coach, man.
Oh man, yeah, that's part of it. But let's see, I'm not kind of local to the area. Grew up in Warsaw, North Carolina.
Okay.
Went to James Keenan High School. Graduated from there in 2019. It feels like forever ago now. Played for Coach Avent there my first 2 years, and then it was Coach Will Clark that was there for a couple years. Him and Coach Williams, I think, actually have a connection from me in Scotland County together. But played there for a couple years. Graduated. Went off. Played football and baseball while I was there. But I graduated. Went off to East Carolina. Did my 4 years there. Did get myself into a role. I was actually a equipment manager while I was there. Got to be a very part-time student assistant my last year under Blake Harrell on that defensive side of the ball.
Nice.
Kind of got my foot in the door just a little bit, but again, very part-time-ish. Like, it was not my main thing, not yet. But I always knew I wanted to get into teaching and into coaching. So I ended up finding my way into Johnson County right out of college. I was at Cleveland High School. I was up there, a really successful program. First year out, I was coaching defensive line of all things out there. Helped out on both sides of the ball. Got to learn a lot from some really good coaches up there. And then bring up that I'm engaged. My now fiance, I met her when I was living up that way. Both of us got an opportunity back this way. She's working out of Greenville currently. I was able to use that, and I moved out this way as well. Our current offensive coordinator, Zach Sabdo, he's a really good friend of mine. Me and him going back a couple years, and he came to me with an opportunity to come to Northside, and it just felt like the right thing to do. So I took him.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. We're glad you're back down east, because I consider Warsaw down east. Maybe not on the coast, but I consider it down east.
Having been going to James Keenan, he's fully aware of what high school football means.
Oh, absolutely, man. James Keenan and East Duplin, one of the biggest rivalries that exist in That's serious business.
Oh yeah, I still got some friends on both staffs there that when they play, I'm gonna give one of them a hard time. The other one's gonna get some. Hey, you got to win this one this week.
Yeah.
I got a lot of eyes on them now. I know they're playing in the Eastern Championship tomorrow, Friday night, as far as I know. I don't know if it's been moved yet either, but I know they got Northeastern on this week, so I'm excited for them too.
Awesome. Well, let's hop in, man. So first regional final since 2016, and I know you weren't around, but I know there's talk amongst coaching staff and stuff like that. Has anybody said what's the biggest difference between this group and then maybe teams from even last year, or maybe the teams between that time period of 2016 and now? What do you think the biggest difference is?
Well, you could say a lot of things about that. I think it starts at the top was the big thing. I think I give all the praise in the world to our current administration at our school. Anybody that tells you that's in high school sports knows it starts at the top. And Mr. Staley's been our principal since 2022. And he, like us, he sees the same vision we want. He wants Northside to be great in all things.
Yeah.
And on the football field, in the classroom, in any extracurriculars, like, is willing to go to that extra length to make sure that we have what we need to make this a thing for us, to bring Northside back to what it was, from the time it opened up until, the last couple of years. So having that support has been huge on that end. But within the program, the big thing too, and that I've noticed has been a lot of leadership among the players. I've learned from a lot of good coaches that the best teams are ones that can be player led. So those guys, like when you have guys who can step up into a leadership role, we've had several very young guys. We don't have a lot of seniors. Like most teams have a lot of senior leadership.
Yeah.
We have seniors that have been leaders. Not downplaying that at all, but we've got a lot of young guys who are able to step up early on, and they've become like some of those guys who those first couple of years were getting beat up by some of those bigger teams. They're now the guy, and they know what it takes to get here now, and they're pushing each other to raise this program to a new level.
So that's great segue. You don't have a lot of seniors who traditionally lead teams, but talk to us about the leadership that you do have, and tell us maybe about some of the players that have stepped up this season and during the postseason run.
So we still have some really good senior leaders like Cameron Napier, Mohamed Diop, just to name a few, like Vince Petito. There's another big name I can say. But it really has been that underclassmen group. We have a really, really good junior class on both sides of the ball. Like our thing is we only have 13 seniors. I think 4 of them are everyday players, and they're all on the defense side of the ball. So a lot of experience come back on both sides. It's that junior class, and even the sophomore class had some big leaders in there. Guys like Matthew Smoot, Gavin Davis on the offensive side of the ball. Matthew really both ways. Gavin on the offensive side of the ball. You got obviously Reginald Gray, 3J. You got 3J at quarterback. He's been a big part of this too. You've got on the defense back. I go back to the defense guys like Anoop Monroe at linebacker, Daniel Wisniewski on the defensive line. Just that,
and all these guys are underclassmen.
This is all a big junior class. And 3J, he's a sophomore. Even seeing some of those younger freshmen, even like Zion Jones stepping up in a way, it's that group right there kind of understanding, like, especially after last year. I think that Martin County game where it became that moment where we realized, like, next year is your year. Like, it's your turn to step up and lead this team. Like, and I think a lot of them, they rose to the challenge starting in February. We tell them every week before a game, I said, it started in February when we got in this weight room and said, hey, we got a chance here. It's a matter of who's going to step up to the occasion.
And it's funny that you mentioned, Coach, the Martin County game, because I remember talking to Coach and a couple of the guys during the season about that. And Steve, I don't know if you remember, with all the weather last year, the season last year was extended a week or so.
Yeah.
And so teams like Northside picked up another game. Now, I think officially it wasn't able to count, but to them it did count. You basically was almost like a scrimmage.
Oh yeah.
But they played the last game of the season. They won Martin County. They won. Northside won that game, and a lot of those guys feel like that kind of gave y'all some momentum going into the off season. So you hit the nail on the head about that game.
Yeah, Coach Pollock says it best. He said that was the end. Like, that was really the start of this season for us. We let the seniors play that first half, but really it was after that. It's like, everybody's going to be here next year. It's your turn. So we got a lot of guys in there that game that got to see, like, we really got to see what are we going to look like with the group that we have coming back. And Martin County was a really good football team. That's still a team that advanced the second round of the playoffs. That's a team that in the lower classes is still one of the better teams in North Carolina and in the East in particular. So seeing that we could compete with a team like that, I think that gave us some confidence that we were able to carry into this season.
Yeah, that extra game, and I didn't realize it, but that extra game is almost like a bowl game.
Yeah, that's right.
For things. So let's dive into to the game. Hunt brings 2, and I know you're on the offensive side of the ball, but as assistant coach, you do it all. I know all the coaches do it all. Hunt brings 2 1,000-yard backs and a quarterback who's thrown for over 1,300 yards passing. What's priority number 1 for your defense this week?
Well, if I use one of Coach Miller's favorite quotes, alignment, assignment, and be an athlete, that's always been a thing we preach on that side of the ball. And the idea that these guys are bought into that, I mean, I think they do truly believe in those 3, knowing that's the 3 big keys to being a successful team. It's no different this week. It's understanding that, hey, Hunt's got a quarterback that can run around a little bit. They've got a running back who's not afraid to stick his head where it needs to be, and he can run. He'll run between the tackles. He runs hard. So for us, it's just limit the big plays. We can get them down. Let's get them down. We can get them behind the sticks, and play our brand of football.
Okay, and this is great question for you, being a former defensive line coach at Cleveland. How important is it for Northside to win the line of scrimmage battle tomorrow night?
I think especially with the weather, how it's been, the ground's going to be wet. It's going to be muddy. It's going to be tough. I think up front, that's the difference there for pretty much any game you get. I think part of our massive jump from last year, this year has been the guys up front. Those guys up front, every single one of them came back from last year, and it was young guys who were used to being in that situation. I think it's going to be a big battle for them. I mean, you got guys, I'll shout out all 5 of them right here. You got Justin Hardison, Sergio Ivory, Zion Morris, who's only a sophomore starting in the middle at center. You got Nate Joseph. You got Drake Hopkins. Those are guys who most of them were starting on varsity as sophomores last year, or freshmen even.
Yeah.
So I think they understand now, and especially as we have progressed through these playoffs, and I'll include Zayden Hicks in there too. I know if he's listening. I didn't forget about you, Roach. But they know, and I think we all know, that battle at the line of scrimmage, that is where that's ultimately where it all starts.
Yeah. So you, and I, as a big fat former offensive lineman, I appreciate you calling all these guys out, man. That's awesome. Special emphasis. What special emphasis have the coaching staff placed this week? Could be nasty, could be muddy, could be bad weather. What special emphasis have you guys placed on limiting turnovers on the offensive side of the ball, and you mentioned it just a second ago, preventing big plays on the defensive side of the ball? Special emphasis.
It's obviously, I actually go back to what you first just said about the weather and everything like that. Well, we know that cannot be a reason. We've told the guys all week, games moved up, we said, hey, they're dealing with the same thing we're dealing with. They have the same conditions. They have the same circumstances we have. It's no different no matter what. So they're going to get the same amount of time we do, and we're both dealing with the same things. So that's not a reason for either one of us. We just got to go out there and we got to play.
Yeah.
But we know limiting explosive plays has been the big point of emphasis on the defensive side of the ball. And offensively, we always want to try to prevent turnovers. And the big thing is finishing drives. I mean, that's been the thing all year we've constantly preached. And I think you saw it in that other matchup with Hunt and Croatan. I mean, and Croatan is a good football team. I will never take that away from anybody. Croatan, you see it in that game. And I think Fike is a tough defensive unit. Not Fike, I'm sorry. Hunt is a very tough defensive unit. You can see that in the fact that in 2 playoff games, they had their back against the wall, and they were able to force a turnover when it mattered. Against Croatan, you saw it against Eastern Alamance. You see it all over their season. That's a group that is hard to break. Same with our defense. I mean, it's bend but don't break mentality. I mean, I think that's the big thing. Just limit those turnovers and let's finish our drives.
Well, and I'm, again, off script, but I think we've followed you guys all year. We've talked about you every week with Reginald and with Gavin. We knew you guys could throw the ball. Absolutely could throw the ball. But we've said since week 1 or week 2 that you guys had to get a little more balanced on offense and really run the ball and you guys are doing it now. I mean, before he got hurt, the Anderson kid was running the ball, and then when he gets hurt, Zion steps up and runs the ball. And I think I think in a bad weather game, man, you got to be able to run the ball. You got to be able to get dirty and play and do whatever it takes to win. So that's not a question. That's just a comment, man, to you guys that I think you guys have really evolved over the year from a I'm gonna say it, from a good team to a great team. I really think you have. And I will ask you because you've seen it. First game of the season was Jacksonville, right? It was White Oak, and then Jacksonville. Yeah. And I remember us talking about the Jacksonville Northside game, and if I'm not mistaken, you specifically saying something about what they needed to run the ball more, right?
Yeah, because and correct me if I'm wrong, Coach, I don't think against Jacksonville week 2, which seems such a long time ago.
Yeah.
You guys weren't able to find much running success, but I think that kind of was the turning point, and you guys started, taking care of business on that side of the ball and in that area. And again, I think that's made y'all from a really good team to take the next level to a really great team. And I think that's the running game has really resulted in some wins that might have been losses last year.
Mm-hmm. I think it has, and I think it also goes back to, I think it gets brought back to last year a lot of the time too. Understanding, like, seeing that level of competition. We still saw it this year. I mean, seeing Jacksonville and Havelock, who we're familiar with over the last couple of years, those are 2 losses this year. Those are the reminders for us that, the job, we're good, but we're not great yet. We still have, every week there's something to improve on, something to get better at, and that's really been the thing. Just understand, we still got work to do.
Yeah. So Hunt completes under 60% of its passes. How important is it to force them, from the defense perspective, into 3rd and long situations where they have to throw the ball?
Well, for them, it's kind of like a lot of other teams. The main goal is keep them off schedule. Yeah. I mean, last week, it's with a lot of different styles of ball. Last week we played Rocky Mount running the wing tee. I mean, their thing is, get 3-4 yards at a time, just keep the sticks moving and keep you off of offense. And we know we've played against teams that have tried to play that way, just keep us off the field so that we don't get a chance to score. It just makes our offensive drives that much more important. We got to capitalize, got to take advantage of it. But, if you get an offense behind the sticks, I think Coach Sabdo, if he's listening, he'll agree with me. There's not a lot of calls for 3rd and 15 or 3rd and 20, or if you look at even what happened to St. Paul's when we played them, they got backed up to about 3rd and 35, I think, at one point, if I remember right, on some penalties. So it's important. If you can get a team back and you force them into a situation they don't want to be in, you dictate what's going on at that point.
Yeah. And and getting them behind the sticks, that plays right into one of your guys' strengths. Your secondary combined 12 interceptions between Smoot and say his guy's name again. Petito. 12 interceptions. Talk about those 2 guys, man. What gives you Smoot is a junior, the other kid is a senior. I think you said. So what makes those guys, man, so ball hawkish, I guess you'd say. I don't even think that's a word, but what the instincts they have.
I think a lot of that, deals with a lot of the work that they've put in here in the offseason and this season. That's a testament to our defensive back coaches. So shout out to Coach Miller, Coach Johnson, Coach Atchison. Those guys have put in a lot of work with them to develop that football IQ side of things. Those 2 are 2 smart guys, too, to begin with. If you've ever met Matthew, he's a very bright kid. He's got a very bright future ahead of him. He's a bit of a goofball, but you kind of see the intelligence he has off the field kind of translate on the field a bit. It's like he kind of knows where it's going. He knows where to be and where to find the ball. Vince, kind of in the same boat a little bit. I think Vince, there's a time or 2, he should have one. He just he has, sometimes it's the case of the Butterfingers, but
that's why he's playing defense. They always say that's why he's playing defensive back instead of wide receiver.
Well, he does play wide receiver.
Does he play? Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We got a lot of guys that play on that side of the ball, too. All of our guys work both ways.
Both ways,
Matthew is one of our receivers, too. He's our other outside receiver across from Jameer. So those 2, I think, again, it's just they've put in a lot of work this offseason to improve on that. I mean, that was an issue I would say we had last year. I mean, it's a testament to the work we've put in the offseason. We're seeing it pay off now.
That's awesome. And like I was telling the kids from Jacksonville earlier, Friday nights is the cherry on the cake, man. I mean, you put in all that work Monday through Thursday. You put in that work during the spring, during the fall, in the weight room, and Friday night is while you're focused, man. It's supposed to be fun. So, last question before the rapid fire. What would and I asked the Jacksonville kids this: what would advancing to the state championship mean for this team, this school, and the community?
I think it would be amazing for everybody. You know, it's been 9 years since Northside's been at this point. You know, it's 2016 is the last time we were sitting here talking about Northside playing in an Eastern Championship or playing for a state championship. So we've had there were a lot of good players even that have come through since. A lot of great people that have been at Northside in between those 9 years who have stuck it out. I mean, you look at Coach Pollock, for example. You know, he was there for that. He's been there through the good and the bad. So kind of seeing it get to this point now, I think for a lot of people, it'll be a testament to the work that so many people have put in to get Northside back to where it was. You know, there are a lot of times, you know, there's like at any point in the last couple of years, guys could have jumped off the ship, but everybody believed in what we're capable of doing here and believing in each other and having faith that there is a payoff for this. Kind of like what you said, you know, there's a cherry on the top for all the work that you put in from January till August. I mean, I think, or really year round from January to December, this is the payoff. We told them at the very beginning of the year, Coach Pollock did it in a meeting, told them, said, if you're not planning on being here for Thanksgiving practice, then I need to know now because we anticipate being here at Thanksgiving, kind of putting in their head.
Love it, man. That's awesome.
We can get to that point. We just had to believe in it. And I think it shows that. And I think that'd be huge for everyone. I mean, we got kids today. We were talking about putting a fan bus together to go to hunt. Yeah. There's kids telling our coaches saying, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity for us. We're not going to pass this up.
That is, man, that's awesome. And it's awesome that you always, and you mentioned it earlier with Brad. Brad's a great guy. I've known Brad for a long time in my former life when I worked for the electric utility company. I was a community guy and did sponsorships. And so I got to meet a bunch of the folks with the schools, and Brad's a great guy. But you mentioned it: support from the administration, support from the student body, and support, you know, obviously from the community as well. And Jay Reeves has chimed in here, and it says Northside finished the job. Northside up next. I'm telling y'all, that's what Jay says. And you know, I would just say that. That hard work pays off, diligence, believing in the process pays off. And man, you know, you guys have got a lot of good things in store for the remainder of this season. And it's kind of scary, man, because next year they got all your skill positions are coming back. And that's going to be, I don't know your offensive line, what grade they're in and stuff like that, but
all juniors and
all juniors. Okay.
Offensive side of the ball, everyone will be back on offense with a couple guys that might be coming up from the JVs, and then on the defensive side of the ball, we are losing at least 3 or 4 starters, I think, on that side of the ball. Okay. But again, most of the team will be back next year.
That's awesome. Any questions for Coach before we get into the rapid fire?
No questions, but I mean, we did mention, you know, administrations, and Mr. Brad Staley does a great job. He is, you know, a really great principal. I remember when he was at Richlands and very proactive with the programs there, and he brought that over to the north side. And look, I'm going to go ahead and say it, Coach. I'm not going to, you know, get you all in trouble. You guys, you know, but this is my own words. Couple administrations before that, you know, after Miss Johnson left and after some of the coaches left, Bob Eason and Coach Marshburn, the athletic programs at Northside took a hit, and I blame the administration and the previous athletic director before Coach Pollock took over as AD. You know, let's just say Northside basketball didn't participate in the ECI. For several years. And there was a connection between work ethic. And just not wanting to be there. Now Coach Pollock and Hunter are leading the athletic departments. You have a principal that does a great job, and you're slowly but surely seeing that tradition or that culture turn back in a positive direction for Northside, and it is fun to see.
Yeah, and I've said it before, man. It's just I grew up here, lived here, came back here to work. It just makes sense when Jacksonville, Northside, and Southwest are good in football. I mean, it just makes sense. We've had Steeler Lee has said, fellas, what does it mean to have both city teams in position to be in the state championship? Yes, Steeler Lee, we were talking about that, man. This is just extremely we're extremely blessed as a community to have two shots at going to the state championship. And I'm gonna be honest with you, man, we got two teams that have a legit shot to win two state championships in the 5A and 6A brackets. Definitely win this week. And so, we're blessed.
And obviously, we don't want to count our chickens before they hatch.
No.
But it would be neat if both teams win and they play back to back at the same site.
Oh, that would be awesome.
I have heard though that may not happen because we all know parking money.
Yeah.
Parking. You get a good bit of revenue through parking. So it would. I have heard people say that. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if they put Jacksonville in one site at one time, and then Northside or vice versa, Northside at another site close by, but the later game. Yeah. And so, but it would be nice to have Jacksonville and Northside play back to back, same stadium. Yeah.
All right, let's get to rapid fire for Coach and viewers. You can't see her, but the Queen has come on to the onto the camera stage, but I think you can't see her. So as always, just excuse Millie. She's doing her thing as usual, but I don't know if you guys can see her or not. All right, Coach, here we go. Rapid fire. Just tell me what comes to your mind. And here we go. Favorite part of game day as a coach?
Probably getting the win. That's why we do it.
That's right. Unsung hero of the coaching staff.
Unsung hero of the staff. Probably got to be, honestly, I got to get a shout out here for this one for Miss Nikki Sutherland, our team athletic trainer. She does a lot to make sure our guys are healthy and ready to play and takes care of them off the field so that they can be at their best on the field.
Awesome.
She gets into it too.
Oh, yes, she does. Miss Nikki loves some Northside athletics. she loves Northside, and we love her too. She's fantastic.
Awesome. Quiet killer. Who makes huge plays without saying a word? Just goes about his business.
That's probably Matthew Smoot still. That's Smoot out of our bunch.
All right. Smartest football IQ on defense.
On the defense side of the ball, that's probably Cameron Napier.
And what position does he play?
He plays linebacker.
Okay.
Cameron isn't like Smoot. He's a very smart individual, and you see it on the field.
Who hits the hardest?
It's the hardest. That's Anoop.
Yep.
Anoop Monroe.
Okay. And I heard he's the biggest trash talker too. Is that correct?
He is I don't know what happens when the lights turn on. That's a different version of him. But if you were ever around Anoop during the day, that is one of the biggest goofballs you'll ever find.
That's great.
Anoop is a goofball, but
he does chirp.
He does chirp, but when the lights come on and the helmet's on, he's ready to go to battle.
First guy to celebrate a turnover.
Probably going to be. I kind of want to go back to Anoop, but I really think it's also going to be somebody like Daniel Wisniewski.
Okay. Which player, offense or defense, has grown the most since week one?
Since week one, probably I'll give it Muhammad Diop. Yeah. And as he goes back to last year, Muhammad played football for the first time last year.
And what position?
He's a defensive lineman now. Okay. He came to me as a wide receiver that
good gracious,
I didn't really know what he was doing at first. I'll admit. If he's hearing this, Muhammad knows. But we found his spot, and he is one of those I give a testament to, the guys who have worked their tail off in the offseason to become a big-time football player. Muhammad has he put a lot of work in starting in January, and I think he is a testament to that.
Awesome. The moment you knew that this team was special?
When I knew it was special, it's between beating New Hanover for the first time ever in school history, getting one of those first big humps out of the way of a team that we had a long time struggling with, or it was taking down Croatan, realizing that was the game that we needed to win to secure the conference, and that knowing where Croatan finished, that's one of the best teams in 5A. That puts us in their same ballpark when we were able to take a team down like that on the road.
Nice. I know you're on the offensive side of the ball, but what's harder to stop, in your opinion, a hot running back or a hot quarterback?
It depends on the situation. If it's a quarterback that can run and throw, everybody's
You're
having
in-
a hard time
yeah,
stopping the
dual
quarterback that
threat.
can do both. But I mean, seeing it firsthand on the offensive side of the ball, when you got a running back that's rolling, it's hard to bring him down and it's hard to catch him. Good luck.
All right. More stressful, 3rd and long or 4th and short?
4th and short.
Okay. If you had to pick one player to make a game-saving tackle for the team, who would it be?
Game-saving tackle. I'm sending a nuke.
If you had to summarize your team's identity in one word, what would it be?
Tough.
Tough.
We have a tough group.
All right. And then I'm going to follow it up, and it might be the same thing. Complete the sentence. Northside football is.
Northside football is on the rise.
All right. That's awesome. That's what I got. Chris, you got anything else that you want to talk about?
No, I think I already have my rant and rave for the week.
Oh, that's cool, man. Nah, dude, that's cool. So, Coach, thank you so much. You are more than welcome to stay. If you got to get back and go, we're going to just preview the games this week. And I mean, we about another 5-10 minutes, and then we'll be done. So sit right there.
I can hang around.
All right, that's awesome. So we want to thank you, man, for joining us. And we're going to get in and let's talk 5th round, East Regional Finals, North Carolina High School Athletic Association State Playoffs. And we're going to pump right in. We normally preview the games, and we have a game of the week. Well, guess what, man? Both games are games of the week this week. So we're going to start with the first game on the list, the 6A bracket. We've got number 3, Middle Creek, 10-2 at number 1, Jacksonville, 12-0. We got some keys to the game here. Keys to the game for Middle Creek: lean into the passing game, attack the secondary with your 1,000-yard receiver and multiple red zone threats, spread Jacksonville out, make the Cardinals defend every blade of grass on the field, create matchups with motion and tempo. I wasn't there last week, Union, but when Scotland was doing motion a couple weeks ago, that kind of created a little havoc for Jacksonville.
He did.
Yeah,
He did. And
yeah.
So, I'm sure they're going to make those adjustments, and we'll see how they do it Friday. But look, Coach Williams and his crew do a good job getting those kids prepared. So they're still doing their homework.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they are. Finished drives, field goals won't beat a team as physical and offensively gifted as Jacksonville, and force Jacksonville into long drives. Make the Cardinals prove they can methodically move the ball for 4 quarters, despite they are kind of banged up. For Jacksonville, keys to the game: replicate last week's defensive energy. The Union Pines win was one of their best defensive outings all season. They need that level of urgency again. Pressure the quarterback. Middle Creek has nearly 3,000 yards passing. Jacksonville must collapse the pocket and disrupt timing routes. Eliminate self-inflicted mistakes. No muff punts. No free first downs. No momentum killers. And that's one thing, man. I couldn't believe the Scotland game, the onside kick. I mean, that was, I didn't go last week, so I mean, but the Scotland County game. O-line must set the tone. Jacksonville was banged up a little, as we mentioned. They need clean pockets and room for Pearson to move the chains. Find Saron Thompson in big moments. He's the 3rd down difference maker, and give it to him in those matchups. And then finally, limit explosive passing plays. Keep the Mustangs 1,000-yard receiver, and it's chopped it off, from making big plays. Two questions for you. Can Jacksonville generate enough pressure to disrupt the Middle Creek passing attack that's been explosive all season?
They can. It's not going to be easy, but they have the defense. They can do it, and weather may play a factor as well, especially if they play Friday and the weather's bad. So they can. I know Jacksonville defense has some injuries themselves, but next man up, and they will have a tough task though.
Okay. And will the Cardinals' offensive line, and run game stay steady enough to keep their defense off the field? Will they control the?
Well,
control the clock.
Here's a challenge for those guys because some of those backs are still kind of banged up a little bit. So you may see 3 or 4 or 5 different ball carriers for the Cardinals who each bring something different to the table. So look, it's the offensive line is going to have to play well, so those different ball carriers can get some first down yards and find success. So it's you may not have a lot of those big time plays, but they'll have to churn out some first downs.
All right. Your prediction: Jacksonville 24, Middle Creek 21. So kind of a low scoring game, honestly, for what's been occurred, and a close game. You want to
Well, again, the weather.
talk a little bit.
The weather will probably play a factor. I mean, fumbles and short fields and things like that. So, but I think it may come down to a field goal, and for Jacksonville, that's what I'm picking. And but again, I don't think there's going to be a lot of big plays if the weather is bad. It may be a if you have a scoring possession, it may take you 7 or 8 plays to find the end zone.
Okay. Now let's move over to our other game of the week. And I would be remiss if I did not tell you that the game of the week was brought to you by John Drew Warlick, the law offices of John Drew Warlick. And I will read his commercial here in a second. But we got number 3 Northside 11-2 at number 1 Wilson Hunt also 11-2. And folks, please remember, if you weren't watching before and you're just tuning in now, remember, and if you live under a rock and hadn't heard, playing tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, Wilson Hunt, due to potential weather. So let's start with the keys of the game for Northside. And Coach, chime in if you see any of this stuff and want to make comments. Win our early downs. Hunt completes less than 60% of the passes. We talked about that. Force 3rd and long and make the Warriors throw under pressure. Limit the 2-headed backfield. Hunt has 2 1,000-yard rushers. Northside must shrink running lanes and tackle clean. Protect the football. The Warriors have 22 interceptions. Wow, man, that's right, 22. Wow. No unnecessary risk. Take the high percentage shots. And Coach, Reginald Gray's done that pretty much. I know he's thrown some interceptions this year, but he's pretty much done that throughout the year, hadn't he? He's taken what the defense has given him, hadn't he?
I'd say he has, and then he's obviously, he knows, and this is a big thing we've had, and I've talked to receivers every single week about, is having trust in each other, having trust that all 5 guys you can throw to can catch the ball, and they trust that he can get the ball to him when he needs to. I mean, it's a trust thing, really.
Trust, yeah.
Yep, these adults got to continue to trust each other. And I didn't say it when it was my turn, but the main thing we talked about is like when the momentum swings come, hey, we got to just put our head down. We got to keep going to work. And that's got to be our mentality tomorrow night too.
Yeah, and you got to understand, it's not if something bad happens or if something doesn't go your way. It's going to be when during a game something doesn't go your way, and it's how, like you said, just keep your head down and keep grinding and keep getting at it. So we also have, let's see here, we also have take advantage of explosive plays. Gray, Davis, and Johnston can win matchups downfield, capitalize when Hunt loads the box. Steal possessions. You guys do a great job of this, man. Onside kicks, pooch kicks, forcing turnovers. Northside thrives when it adds 1 or 2 extra possessions a game. And then respond to adversity. You just talked about that, Coach. Hunt will make big plays. Northside must counter immediately, and it's how you react. Keys to the game for Wilson Hunt: stay balanced. The 2-back system plus timely passing keeps Northside from keying on the run. Coach, she's never done that. I want you to know. Millie has jumped up and she is sitting beside Coach. Millie, come down, baby. Come down. Win the line of scrimmage. Keep Northside's pass rush from dictating drives. Continue opportunistic defense. 22 interceptions picked by the defense can change the game, disrupt Gray's rhythm early, and then finish in the red zone in a high-scoring game. Field goals simply won't cut it. So anything, two questions for you. Can Northside force Hunt into enough long yardage passing situations to neutralize the Warriors' 2 1,000-yard backs. And I hate to keep harping on the 2,000-yard backs, but
but actually, one of the 1,000 is the quarterback.
okay.
So he is
Okay.
the quarterback. So I mean, and I talked to Coach Pollock about this the other day, and they are going to have to put some difficult situations on that quarterback, and make him uncomfortable. I mean, but that's kind of the game plan for Northside every week is try to do that. They need to steal some possessions like we talked about before, and they're going to have to win the turnover battle. So I think all that combined is their key to success.
Okay. Now on the offensive side, and Coach can chime in if he'd like. Will Wilson Hunt's ball hawking secondary, 22 interceptions. I mean, that's more, 12 games or how many games you play, man. I mean, that's impressive. Create momentum turning plays, or will Gray and his receivers hit the big shots Northside needs?
Well, I think they will hit the big shots. And look, I mean, give Hunt credit. They'll make some plays. I mean, they're a good team. I mean, they're obviously number 1 seed for a reason. So they will have success on both sides of the ball. And like you said, Steve, how will Northside respond? And if you do have a turnover, if you do give up a big touchdown, if you do, some unfortunate play, how do you respond? Northside's responded pretty well, throughout the season. So they'll definitely need to do that Friday night or Thursday night.
Yeah. And Coach, I would say you talked about it. I mean, it's how you respond to those times. It's because it's not going to be if something, it's not going to go your way all the time. It's how you respond. Have you been preaching that? I mean, I'm sure you have, but I mean, all season, but you've been preaching it probably even more this week. And now with moving the game up, potential weather, have you guys talked a lot about that?
Yes, we have. It's still something we preach every single week, talking about when things go wrong, like, well, how do we respond? We've also talked about, at this point, it's no longer like if this team is good or not. Like if you're in the Eastern Finals, you're not here on accident. You are a good football team. So we know every opponent we play now, everyone that makes the playoffs is good. But we know at this stage, everybody's going to be good. Everybody's going to be athletic. Everybody's going to be fast. Everybody's going to be strong. The challenge is going to be who can play a more disciplined game. I think one of our coaches said it this week to the team, said the team that makes the least amount of mistakes is the one that'll win tomorrow night. And I think that's something we truly believe in. We got to be the team that makes less mistakes.
Yeah. And I hope you aren't allergic to dogs, man, because my dog has just made its home with you. She's been in the picture. Look, man, she's been in the show about every week, but she's never done that, has she?
No, she's
She's never. So she likes you, Coach. So let's get right to Chris's prediction. We're going to get over there. You're predicting, Chris, 28-24, Northside coming out victorious tomorrow night. Just talk about it a little bit.
Well, and I picked 24 because Hunt does have a good kicking game as well, and
I'm assuming they have probably a soccer player that's
probably
that's probably their kicker.
But look, I don't think Northside's going to be. I don't think the stage, the moment, the big moment is going to get to them. I think they're coming focused, confident. I mean, Northside, they're not going to be cocky, but I think they're going to go in thinking that y'all can win, and if y'all take care of business and not make the mistakes, that you have a chance to win. So I think, like I said before,
this will be a dream out. This will be a dream outcome, man. I mean, I'm just telling you, it would be
extra possessions, force turnovers, get an onside kick, pooch kick, and steal some possessions and capitalize.
That's awesome, and I hope your predictions come true. And you've been pretty spot on during this, not just the playoffs, but during the season. So these games of the week are brought to you by the law offices of John Drew Warlick in Jacksonville and Onslow County. When life changes fast, you need someone who moves just as fast for you. The law offices of John Drew Warlick, 3 generations of trusted local attorneys fighting for folks injured in wrecks, workplace mishaps, and handling cases for the seriously injured. They also stand beside families through life's most challenging moments with experienced family law representation. If you've been hurt in a car accident or on a job, don't settle for less than you deserve. Call 910-455-7700 to schedule a complimentary consultation. The law offices of John Drew Warlick, advocating for the injured, standing up for families, results that mattered. All right, we're going to talk real quick, rapid fire, and then we will wrap it up, and Coach can get away from my dog because I'm sorry, Coach. Here we go. Rapid fire. Let's start with Northside and Hunt. Who wins the battle? Hunt's 2 1,000-yard backs or Northside's front 7 that doesn't break?
Ooh, well, I'm gonna go with the front 7.
Okay. More important for Northside, forcing turnovers or controlling early downs?
Forcing turnovers.
Okay. Key X factor, Reginald Gray's arm or the Monarchs' ability to steal an extra possession, say on special teams?
Well, Reginald's gonna do what he's gonna do what he does, like he's done all season. But again, I think it goes back to stealing a possession or two.
Is Hunt's size advantage up front a major factor, or does Northside's heart and speed outweigh it?
I think on paper, I think their size could play a factor, but like I said a minute ago, Northside's not going to be. They're not scared of the moment.
Okay. Who makes the bigger impact, Davis and Johnson deep, or Northside's DBs jumping routes?
Ooh, I'll go with the.
You better go with the wide receivers since the coach is here.
Step up, I know it's cliche, but go with the Smokey and Gavin.
And I need to remember Smokey because I'm intentionally not saying his first name because I don't want to butcher it. So I'm just calling him Johnson. Does Northside need to score 30 points to win, or can they grind it out in the 20s? And your score said 28, so you think they can, which is right at 30.
Yeah, I mean, they showed last week that they can kind of win a grinded out game. They found different ways to win, blowout, kind of hold on, kind of a grind it out. So I don't think they need to score 30. I mean, obviously you guys would like to, but they don't mind winning that grinded out game.
All right, bigger pressure moment, early defensive stops or late game explosiveness?
Ooh, we'll go with late game explosiveness.
All right, and I know we're running late, but it is what it is. Trenches, Hunt's big offensive line versus Northside's physical defensive front. Who sets the tone?
Let's go with Northside.
Hunt's wide receivers versus Northside's secondary that has 7 picks from Smoot. Who wins the air battle?
I'm gonna challenge the Northside guys. I'm gonna go with Hunt.
Hunt's dual threat QB and running back duo versus Northside's linebackers Monroe and Napier. Who controls the middle?
Anoop. Anoop and Cameron Napier. I think
Okay.
I just wanted to say Anoop. I think that's a cool name. So he does talk a lot of junk. So Anoop, if you're listening, I got all the faith in the world in you.
Splash plays. Hunt's offense, which is averaging 38 points a game, or Northside's bend and don't break style. Who bends first?
Who bends first? Well, I think Hunt's offense will.
They'll score, but they're not going to score 38.
Yeah. I think Northside's defense is better than a lot of people realize.
Okay. Turnovers. Hunt's 22 interceptions versus Northside's explosive receivers. Who makes the first big mistake?
Ooh, the Hunt's defense.
Okay. Now to Jacksonville and Middle Creek. Who has the upper hand? Middle Creek's 3,000-yard passing attack or Jacksonville's pass rush? Man, I'm peppering you with questions.
You are. I'm gonna be a homer and go with Jacksonville.
More important to Jacksonville, protecting the football or avoiding 3 and outs?
Protecting the football. You just can't have turnovers.
Biggest matchup, Jacksonville's O-line versus Middle Creek's 123 tackles for losses. Who wins in the trenches?
I have faith in the Cardinals, so I'm going to go with the Hogs.
Okay. Is this game decided by Amari Pearson's legs or Anthony Washington's arm and composure?
Well, to be honest, I think Anthony Washington is going to have to step up, and he knows that. He's going to have to play more of a factor this week, I think.
Can Jacksonville limit Middle Creek's top wide receiver, who was over 1,000 yards, or is this destined to be a high yardage night for him?
Well, I think he'll have a chance to break it, but you just can't give up those consistent 30, 40-yard pass plays. But if you hold him to 6, 7, 8 yards, then that's fine.
Does Jacksonville need a fast start, or is this a game they can win late with defense?
Yeah, you need to, as always, you need to create momentum early with the score.
All right. This rapid fire section has been brought to you by Moore Buick GMC. At Moore Buick GMC, it's more than just selling cars, it's about serving our community. Right here in Jacksonville, Charles Williamson and his folks are proud to support local schools, charities, and events while helping families find the perfect Buick or GMC to fit their lives. From rugged GMC trucks to luxurious Buick SUVs, you'll find a wide selection backed by friendly service you can trust. Whether you're buying or leasing or servicing your vehicle, you'll always be treated like family. More Buick GMC, driven by community, powered by trust. Visit them today at their location on Highway 17 in Jacksonville or online at morebuickgmc.com. All right, Chris, anything else for the masses?
No, I think good luck to both Monarchs and to the Monarchs and Cardinals. And like again, we don't want to count our chickens before they hatch, but if both teams win and take care of business, then that'd be kind of
That would be awesome. Let's just be simple. That'd be awesome.
Mhm.
So, all right, well, that's going to wrap it up for the Downing's Prep Report Show with Chris Miller, brought to you by Marine Federal Credit Union. A big thank you today to our special guest, Jacksonville High School's Anderson Tant, Anthony Washington, and head football coach Bo Williams, who had to excuse himself to take a very important phone call, and to Northside High School's assistant football coach, Jacob Coman. Coach, thank you for joining us, man. Thank you for being such a great person and entertaining my dog while she's kind of chilling out, man. And we've had some great conversations. So, and of course, a big thank you to Chris for breaking down the regional final matchup for us. And again, I just want to say, good luck to Northside tomorrow night. Good luck to Jacksonville Friday night. And again, thanks our show sponsor, Marine Federal Credit Union, where you're more than just a member, you're part of a community. Visit marinefederal.org to learn more about discover how Marine Federal Credit Union can help you build a better financial future. So we've taken a break the last 2 Sundays from 2 Men to 6 Pack, our Sunday night sports podcast show, but we'll be back Sunday night at 6 p.m. Me and the boys will talk about the high school football recap from Thursday and Friday nights, and hopefully be providing some details about date, time, and location for state championship games. We'll also talk a little college football playoff brackets. The new bracket or the rankings came out last night. And then we'll do our studs and duds segment, which everyone loves. And then next Wednesday, I hope we're back here doing this, man. We got 2 teams heading to the state championship games. And this has just been a special season in Onslow County for football, special season. Just basically in the community for football. And I'm glad we've been able to do the show. And we're going to do one more show.
Yep, we're going to do one more. Well, yeah.
We're going to do one more football show this season. Mm-hmm. And then we'll move on to the winter sports after that.
And
so
all area stuff.
That's right, all area stuff. So for Chris Miller, I'm Steve Goodson. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you under the Friday and Thursday night lights.